In the 1950s, America was discovering its racing bug. They found loads of different tracks, circuits on public roads and paved roads all throughout America where they could use the best, fastest muscle cars to race. This was no different in the area of Laguna Seca, specifically in Salinas County. They found in the 1950s they were able to use the beach to race and drag all of their cars up and down the speedways, but they found eventually that, unfortunately, due to a number of accidents, that the Pebble Beach itself was just a bit too dangerous. So, through a venture capitalist and public subscription and a little bit of enterprising, they managed to raise a full circuit at an old US Army base. That resulted in Laguna Seca, where we're at for tonight for round 7 of the Renault Mégane Trophy, sponsored by PowerMax Racing here at NXTGEN. I'm Jack TM53, your commentator as always for Lobby 2, and we have a very good fight around this circuit for tonight. Now, we've joined a little bit late in terms of the session, normally in terms of the broadcast starting, so the good news is we can get straight underway with the qualifying session. We have hit that 9 o'clock start, so we'll hit the qualifying and we'll kick over into the 10 minutes of qualifying that we have before we go into the 20-minute race that would normally be conducted in this Mégane Race 1. So there you go, qualifier just popping up on the screen, there it is. So 10 minutes the drivers have around this difficult circuit to race around. It's not the easiest, of course. They've raced there in all forms of different disciplines, such as in terms of the loads of different NASCAR have raced around here in the past. You look at the STCC have raced around here, MotoGP of course has raced around here, Turn 11 in particular, named after Mark Rainey, the 500cc motorbike champion. But in any case, the driver's now out on circuit. It's Big Madaz who is the first out on track, which is good to see. 10 minutes he's got to try and set a good lap time to get him up near the front of the road. Big Madaz was saying in the pre-race practice area that it took him a little bit longer to get up to speed with the rest of the Lobby 2 drivers, and he found that trying to get a bit of consistency is going to be key around this circuit, and a number of drivers have reiterated that. This circuit, very old school, built in the 1950s of course, in 1958 to be exact. Not much room for error, as you can see as Big Madaz goes through that infamous corkscrew section and rounds himself through Rainy Curve at turn 11. So in terms of the drivers, they're going to be going on to their first qualifying lap, so while they do that we'll have a little look at the championship standings. I'll run through them as of 6 rounds. So leading the way currently on 189 points is D Hartley, 79. He's managed to keep hold of that championship lead, so good news for him. Still got a bit of work to do because Dominator 3 is only 6 points behind on 183. Third place is Dud CF14, he's on 177. KZ2 Haas is 4th on 167, so 22 points covering the top 4 with 4 rounds to go. 4 rounds, 8 races of course. A lot of championship potential there for a 4-way fight. Just outside of that in 5th place is Duskiver, he's on 158 points. NXTGEN Danzo is 6th on 140. Big Madaz, who we're riding around with at the moment, he just came out of turn 6 in 4th gear, I just noted. He's on a 7th place in 137 points. 1805 is 8th on 109, having a good campaign so far as 1805, certainly his best ever in Mégane Lobby 2. 9th is Chalk 12 on 97 points. Shadowstalker DBS rounds out the top 10 on 87, but he's closely followed by NXTGEN Big Z, who's 11th on 86. Greener Army is 12th. He's on 46 points. And back in the lobby tonight, you can see there at the 8th place on circuit at the moment, Silver Fox 40 in that Sales Eye interactive car. He's back tonight, he's on 26 points in 13th. 14th NXTGEN The Belt. 15th Gino Demmer, and I'm happy to say back in the lobby for the first time in some time, the 55 Ace. He is back in the championship today. Good to see him around the circuit in the works car. He's got 5 points, but he's got a lot of ground to make up today. He's not had as much driving in the car as the rest of the folks who are in the Méganes at the moment, and he's just set at 29. We did see him slow down, but opening laps just coming in now from the drivers. Big Mad so far has set the benchmark at a 25.2, but we know for certain that Lobby 2 can go quicker than that. So Big Mad leads the way. Chalk 12 continuing on with his strong form, following on from last week's event at Interlagos. He's looking a lot better in recent times. He's certainly found an uptick in performance, so good news for him. He's currently second on the opening runs. D Hartley's third, KZ2 Haas is fourth. Silver Fox 4D, haven't seen him for a while, good showing in fifth in the opening runs. There's the Skyver in sixth, just coming through turn number 7. Such a difficult corner to get right there, very much blind on the entry to that corner, and the Mégane sit quite low, so anyone who's in the onboard camera will find that to be a little bit more trickier than they'd anticipated. Just trying to see if we could got a driver who's coming towards turn 7, just to sort of highlight that. You could just see with Dominator there, as he came over the top, there's a little bit of a crest that they go over on that lap. So I think we'll take a lap on board with Danzo. That's who we're going to ride with tonight for the qualifier lap. Haas has just moved himself into provisional pole with a 25 flat, certainly expecting the 24s to come, and Duskiver does exactly that with a 24.6. But onto the start-finish straight then comes Danzo. He's currently last right up to third. Good effort from him as he comes through turn 1, completely flat in most cars. Then on the brakes down into potentially second gear, which he does. He's run deep at turns 2 and 3, but he's pulled the car around nicely, so good exit for him as he approaches turn number 4. This right-hander, third gear, got to be careful to avoid that red curb on the inside, which he's just clipped. And he holds the car just about, but he's not going to be going any quicker on this lap. Keeps it in 4th gear for turn number 5. He's got away with that as Danzo. I thought he was going round. Good car control from the Asian Fluxman as he goes on the brakes down into 3rd gear at turn number 6. Then we come into the... as he just runs a touch wide coming out of turn 6. He was at 7 there. He comes towards. So over that little crest, down into that corner. 4th gear, so looking a little bit easy for Danzo currently in the car. He rides the crest now as he comes to the most infamous corner in the whole circuit at the corkscrew. Has to brake very early, runs a little bit deep, and he's over the AstroTurf, and this is not going to be a fast lap for Danzo. 2.5 seconds off the pace as he comes through Rainy Curve. Then down into 3rd gear once again in the Mégane at turn 12. Another difficult corner to get right. You can see Danzo just having difficulty with his consistency, and then at the brakes he's been caught by Duskiver, who's right behind him, and then he will finish his lap, but it certainly won't be an improvement. Now 3:45 to go in the session. Dominator currently has provisional pole. Duskiver, can he go any quicker? He doesn't. In fact, that was a slow lap from Duskiver. Haas is there in 3rd place, so incredibly the top 4 drivers separated by less than 0.2 of a second. Then there's Dodds, Danzo, D Hartley, championship leader, down in 7th, but it doesn't look like he's had the best of runs so far. 25.8, 25.1. Fairly certain he'll get into the 24s. He should be capable of that in that Fuchs car. Number 79. Looking to try and keep hold of his championship lead. There's Silver Fox 4D. He's in 8th place. 9th Big Madaz. 10th Big Z. The top 11 within a second of one another. So that's really fabulous to watch. And there's for 55.8. That's a good showing considering he hasn't competed in the Mégane since round 2. And then Greener Army almost within 5 seconds of the group, which is particularly impressive for the Dreadman in that number 57 there. That'd be really good if he can just find 5 thousandths of a second. It'd be a great little boost for his confidence. So drivers now coming around again. Dominator going even quicker. He's 2 tenths up as it stands. Silver Fox 4D does a 25.1. Just moves himself up to 7th. So D Hartley goes down another position. The 55.8 goes quicker on a 26.2. So gained half a second on his previous lap. Hartley improves up to 5th. It's a 25 flat, as close as you want to be to the 24s without being in them. Dominator loses time in that final sector. He lost 4 tenths, and considering the final sector is only consistent of 3 corners, he's lost a lot of time there. Evidently must have really hooked up his purple lap, and he's gone off at turn 1, so it's not going to help him in his quest to try and extend his gap. Don't forget, Dominator has taken pole position in virtually every event that he's been able to qualify in this season. It's been an incredible run of form from the Joyce Design car, but can he do it again? Duskiver's on his tail, as is Haas, but he's got a penalty. He's going to have one lap left, and he's not got the best exit, so he's going to be compromised, and Big Madas is right in front of him, so that could be a distraction. But could he use Big Madas as a slipstream further around in this circuit? We'll wait and see, but Haas has got one shot left, as will Chalk. We'll ride him with him as he comes into turn 12. Nicely done from Chalk going through turn 12, then on the brakes down into second gear. Just misses the apex. It's a difficult corner to get right, turn 13, as the 55.8 improves into the 25s now. Danzo goes quicker. Chalk doesn't, but he's still in 4th place. Hartley's still got his 5th place. He needs to keep hold of that. He's got one lap left. Danzo, he's on his final lap now. Duds is also there. He's done a 25 flat. Silver Fox 40's on a 25.1. Big Madas, 25.2 at the present moment. Bigsy currently just in the pits, so he's not going to improve on his efforts. Can Shadowstalker leap himself into the top 10? It's exceptionally close in qualifying, because now the 55.8 is within a second. So 12 of the 13 cars tonight within a second of one another. But we'll wait and see how the drivers get on. Haas has gone wide at the penultimate corner. He's going to have a bit of slipstream from Greener Army. Don't think it's compromised him too much, but his line wasn't brilliant. Out of the final corner, he's going to get a nice toe for Greener Army. As he comes towards the line, what's his lap time? He goes P1. KZ2 Haas provisionally on pole as it stands. What about the other drivers out on circuit? Can they respond? D. Hartley's out on circuit. Big Madas says shocking. Shadowstalker into the 24s, a fabulous effort, and Silver Fox 40 into the 24s, brilliant effort from those two, superb qualifying. D. Hartley, 55.8's gone the wrong way. What's happened to D. Hartley? He's only going to be 7th at best. What about Dominator? Can he do anything? Can he reclaim that provisional pole? He can, and Dominator retakes it. Chalk in the interim got provisional pole, but it's snatched off him at the end. But it's a fabulous effort from Dominator 3 to take pole position again. What a fantastic end to that session we had. Dominator in the end gets the spoils. He gets the additional point for pole position with that 24.4. There's Chalk 12 with another 24.4 as well, just 6/100ths off the back of Dominator 3, but that's a great effort. He's going to be on the front row for the first time this season. There's Haas in 3rd. I briefly thought he might have got pole, but he just missed out. Good effort from him. There's Duskiver in the pit lane in 4th. Shadowstalker, fabulous effort. Qualifier of the session though, Silver Fox 40. We haven't seen him for a few events. Brilliant effort to get in the 24s. He's 6th on the grid. D. Hartley gonna have to use that racecraft of his to get up the field and protect that championship lead. See how he gets on in the event. Danzo is 8th. Duds in 9th, 3rd place in the championship. Got a bit of work to do as the fast car. Big Madas in 10th, Bigsy 11th, the 55.8 just outside the 1 second mark in the end, but a good return for him after being out for 5 events. And the Greener Army 2009 rounds out the field, just 5 seconds away from the field. So what a race we've got in store. 12 drivers almost within a second of one another. Anyone could win this. Laguna Seca is all about consistency, and here we go into the race. So it's Dominator 3 on pole position once again for this season. He's on the left hand side in that green, white and yellow car. Chalk 12 is on the front row with him in the black and red and white Geisen car. Watch out for Haas and Duskiver on the second row, 20 minutes on the right hand side. Here come the numbers. And the race is live from Laguna Seca. It looks like a good start from the front row. Dominator needs to try and come across as quickly as he can. Hartley's had a fantastic start. He's up to 5th already. But Dominator's trying to hold his line. Going into turn 1. Haas is trying to get involved as well, but Chalk fends him off. Chalk's gone up the inside. Dominator ran too deep. And Chalk 12 takes the lead. Dominator's in the gravel trap. He can't get back on. He's going to drop right down the field like a stone. Silver Fox 40 up to 4th. Brilliant for him. Hartley's 5th. Shadowstalker's 6th. What happened to Dominator? He's down to 12. The championship, one of the championship protagonists from 1st to 12th, all because he ran wide at turn 1 and got muscle out. So Chalk 12 for the first time leads at Laguna Seca. What will he be feeling? He's got Haas just behind him. Don't forget, Haas won his first race earlier this season. Silver Fox 40 is up to 3rd. He's had a fabulous opening lap from 6th to 3rd. He is absolutely flying on his return to the championship. Look at it side by side as they go into the corkscrew. Oh, that's Hartley and everyone going deep into the corkscrew. Danzo's got a great run. He's going to try and go around the outside of D. Hartley at Rainy Curve, and he's done it. Good move. Danzo up to 5th. Hartley back down to 6th. Shadowstalker in 7th place is going to get... Whoa, I thought he was going to get overtaken by Big Madaz, but Big Madaz... Oh, Biggsy's all over the gravel. How has he held that? Fabulous from Biggsy, just held on. Can he keep hold of that position? It looks like he will. So Biggsy is going to have to do a bit of defending into turn 1, but really good car control to keep hold of that. Dominator recovering now in 11th place. Duds, which way does he pick between Hartley and Shadowstalker? Shadowstalker trying to attack on the inside. Danzo's gone deep into turn 1. Hartley keeps his position and Danzo gets overtaken by Duskiver, who moves into 4th place. Silver Fox 40 in 3rd and has a 1 second gap to the cars behind. You can see Danzo trying to put the pressure on Duskiver going into turn number 5, but he can't quite make that move there. It's a really difficult corner to overtake on. Hartley kicking up the gravel there as he came out of turn 5. He's got to be careful. He's just got to keep himself composed. He is extending his championship lead at this present moment in time. What an opening lap so far, ladies and gentlemen. It's been brilliant. Haas is in the lead as well. We haven't seen it on circuit, but KZ2 Haas now has the lead of this race. Chalk 12 looking for that first podium. He's in the prime position for it. Silver Fox 40 also going for his first podium. Duskiver, he's in 4th. Shadowstalker's up to 5th. Big Madaz is 6th. Whoa, there's all a bit of contact going on at the corkscrew. They're almost 3 wide briefly. Big Madaz is slowing right down. Not sure what's happened to him. The 55.8's moved up to 8th place. Dud 7th. Bigsy 6th. Big Madaz, is he waiting potentially for Danzo? Which he has done. There's Hartley, Dominator 3. The 2 championship protagonists, ladies and gentlemen, are 11th and 12th. That is a headline in itself, and amazingly, Duds is catching them in the championship as a result. He'll know that. And KZ2 Haas, who's the sort of rank outsider here in this championship fight, has got a very good chance of bringing himself into effect as he goes sideways through turn 4. Not if he goes round, he won't. He's pushing hard. He's got to try and pull away from Chalk, who's been really impressive all through practice. Silver Fox 40 though has company in the form of Duskiver on the brakes down into turn number 6. Oh, that's Silver. Is that, who's that? That's Chalk. Chalk's gone off the road. So Chalk, commentator's curse, puts him down into 4th position. Shadowstalker might get a run on him coming up the hill towards the corkscrew. Duskiver's trying to look at the inside of Silver Fox 40 as well. Will Shadowstalker look at the move at the inside? He tried, had a little think about it, but just slots in behind. So incredibly, oh, sideways out the corkscrew from Shadowstalker. But Silver Fox 40 is up into 2nd place, and Haas must be thinking now, what can I do to make this victory mine? He's got 3/4 of the race still to go, but 3 seconds. All about consistency this circuit. Speed is not everything around here. More mistakes you make, the more you're going to end up backwards, and that's how you can see where Dominator 3 and D. Hartley are at the moment, right down the back of the field. You know they're the quickest guys in this lobby, arguably, and yet they're not even featuring in this top 8 graphic. Where are they at this present moment? They're not even in the top 10. That says a lot about this track. So Chalk is 4th still. Duds is up to 6th. He's got past Biggsy. 55.8 showing well in 8th place. 55.8's best ever result is 7th in this league. So he's just gone purple in the first sector actually as the 55.8. Always shown speed, the works driver, but just a little bit of consistency he's lacked in his efforts in Lobby 2 in the past. But it'd be a lovely return to finish 8th place. There's Big Madaz, Danzo fighting as well. Little bit of argy-bargy happened at the corkscrew. It's clearly sent Danzo and Big Madaz and potentially D. Hartley around as well, but those two are still quite a far way back. in terms of Hartley and Dominator 3. Silver Fox 40 and Duskive are having a really good fight over second place. I say the two of them, it's actually a three-way fight for second place, because Chalk has pulled himself right. Oh, Silver Fox has been hit. Duskive has been hit as well, and they all managed to collate together. But it's now wow, it's a 5-car fight for second place. Shadowstalker's trying to look to the inside, but he can't quite make it. Now Dudge is trying to go around the outside. Dudge is pushed wide from Shadowstalker. They're all trying to fight over the same bit of tarmac. Dudge tries to break later around the outside. He's going to try and pull this move. Shadowstalker's got the inside line. Shadowstalker giving him more than enough racing room, but Dudge has gone round the outside. And will he get the move sealed into turn 4? He does. Great. Oh, he's just gone sideways. He's compromised his line and compromised Shadowstalker. So, 5 cars, 2 podiums. Who's going to get this second and third place, ladies and gentlemen? It's absolutely brilliant. Just small mistakes from the drivers are giving opportunities for names that aren't normally featured at the front to have their moment in the sun, and that's exactly what they're doing. Dud's trying to do the switch back underneath Chalk at turn 7, and through he goes up into 4th place. The man in 3rd in the championship is just making his moves now where he needs to do so. This is the second time this season where we've seen Dud's qualify sort of lower than you'd expect, but his racecraft has certainly improved this season, and you can see here he's up to 4th. He's got fastest lap of the race. Can he move further forward? You can see Bigsy's not too far away from this fight for second, and we're not even halfway into the race, so lots of action still to come. Wow, absolutely brilliant. In the meantime, Haas 6 seconds clear of Silver Fox 40. He's just snatched back fastest lap as Haas. So he's got 6 seconds to play with, but Silver Fox 40 now the man to try and overtake, because he is doing a sterling effort of keeping Duskiver behind him. Dud's running a little bit wide. There goes Chalk as well. Bigsy runs over the gravel as well. Everyone pushing hard. They can sniff an opportunity at a podium today for race 1. But Silver Fox 40 and Duskiver are the 2 drivers who hold those positions, and they haven't really put a foot wrong so far. I don't want to curse them. It's the last thing I'd want to do. Oh, Silver Fox 40's right on the limits. He's just about held the car. Is this the opportunity that Duskiver needs? Can he clear him? No, he can't. He goes to the inside now at the corkscrew. He's up the inside. Silver Fox 40 loses 2 places for the price of 1, and Duds takes both of them. So Duds, his racecraft I mentioned, Silver Fox 40 just barges his way past. He goes up to 3rd. Duskiver won't be happy. He's now down into 6th place. Just seems to be a little bit messy coming out of the corkscrew. All started really from Silver Fox's mistake. He's still holding on to 3rd place, but there'll be a point of contention on that, I guarantee. Duskiver won't be pleased about being out-muscled onto the gravel, and Chalk 12 now can see his podium. He wants to go for it. A little bit of a tap into turn 1. Oh, Silver Fox has just mounted the curb, and he's tried to turn back in. Chalk was there. He gets through, but Silver Fox is not giving up. He's going to try and go around the outside. At turn 4, he brakes a little bit earlier, tries to do the switchback, but just didn't get the line right. And Shadowstalker sees an opportunity. Best ever result in the series is 6th for Shadowstalker. He could see 4th. But can he do it? He's got to look to the inside. He tries to make a late lunge. He doesn't quite make it. Silver Fox runs a little bit deeper into turn 6, but he stays in 4th place. Still a really good showing from these two, I have to say. Really impressive performance. There's Bigsy. Danzo. Dominator's finally got himself into the top 10, and he's actually not too far away from the fight for well, effectively what is a long, lengthy fight for 2nd place. He's not too far away. Got a lot of work to do in the next 10 minutes, but he might be able to bring Big Madas with him. He's just set a personal best on that lap. D. Hartley's there in 11th. There's the 55-8, who's Ghost has taken him on an interesting line, to be the best way of saying it. But Haas still leads. Duds is 2nd. There's Chalk in 3rd. The 55-8 has unfortunately had to leave the room. I suspect he's been called away. That's a shame. He'd been running well during the session. There's Silver Fox 40, still holding on to 4th place. It's got a queue of 3 cars behind him. It might become 4 actually, because Danzo isn't too far away. Danzo setting fastest lap that time around, so very impressive from the Adrian Flux car. You can see that gap is closing. We'll ride with Shadowstalker, who's in the not so envious position of having to attack and defend. He's got to watch out for Disciver, who's going to be thinking he can get past the pair of in front of him. Shadowstalker's got a good run. Will he look to go to the inside? Yes, he does. At turn 7, he's going to be alongside Silver Fox. He breaks a little bit early at turn 7. Silver Fox runs wide, and then he gets hit by Shadowstalker, so he can't take advantage. Bigsy trying to go up the inside of Disciver, but that's an avenue that's blocked off as well. Hard charge racing going on around America, as Shadowstalker just lips the curb, and he gets a little bit unsettled out of the corkscrew. But he's got enough of a gap to Disciver, because he's being hustled and harried by Bigsy, and Big Badass has gone up into 8th place. Danzo's now 9th, Hartley's 10th, and Dominator's slipped back to 11th. So it's all ever fluid, changing in this race. Chalk 12 is now caught up to the back of Duds. In the meantime, Duds just comfortably in the 25s. But Chalk 12 certainly capable of doing quicker lap times, and there he is on a 24.6. I did say in this race it would all be about management during this race, keeping it on the circuit, and Duds, despite not having the raw pace today so far, he's the one in 2nd place right now. And he's gaining hugely on the 2 cars in front of him in the championship, as is Haas for that matter. Championship could go any way, but in the meantime, not so much for the championship, for the fight for 4th place. Silver Fox 40 still hanging on to that position. There's Disciver in 6th, Bigsy in 7th, and then a little gap back to Big Madass, who's just gapped Danzo. Hartley, who's being followed by Dominator, and hits the back of Hartley. Doesn't need that in his life, neither of them do. This might be a scrapped race 1 for them and focus on race 2 instead. But this fight for 4th, Silver Fox is putting in an incredible display of defensive driving. And he just goes a little bit sideways coming out of the final corner. Just looking at towards Chalk, he's not close enough at the moment to attack Duds as they go into 6 minutes 50 left during this race. Silver Fox still holds that 4th position. Shadowstalker takes a tighter line, but you can see the exit that gets out of there for Silver Fox. He just gets a little bit of breathing room to turn 4. Different lines again. Disciver's all over the back of Shadowstalker, so he's probably conscious of not giving too much room up, and that's just giving that Silver Fox a little bit of a chance to slip away. Shadowstalker having to defend into turn 6. But he's putting up a good show himself. Bigsy's right on there too. Big Madaz is just about, well, he was just about within a second. There's Danzo right in the thick of it as well, so they've pulled themselves into the fight for 4th. But whoa, Shadowstalker's finally run deep into the corkscrew. That's the chance everybody else needed. As Shadowstalker bit, what's happened? That's Chalk. Chalk has gone off as well. So Chalk 12, who was running in 3rd, putting the pressure on Duds, has gone down to 8th place, and Silver Fox 40 has once again found himself in a position in 3rd with 5 minutes to go, just a quarter of the race. Shadowstalker went off, braked too late, went off into the gravel trap. Then something has happened to Chalk as well, and Silver Fox 40 has a quarter of the race to go to fend off Disciver, who's done brilliantly to fight back from being outmuscled into the gravel trap, to get that 1st ever podium. Is it possible? Big Badass up to 5th, Bigsy in 6th, Danzo 7th, Chalk is 8th, Shadowstalker now in 9th, Dominator back inside the top 10 after his collision with D. Hartley at the corkscrew. There's 5 minutes to go, and they could see 3rd place. That's how much it's changed and evolved in this race. Chalk's putting the pressure on Danzo in turn 6, but at the minute he can't find a way through. Only 2 drivers through the whole of this race who've not put a foot wrong is Haas and Duds. Those two have been absolutely spectacular. And Silver Fox 40, for that matter. But they have a buffer to play with. 40 does not. Big Badass now trying to get involved in a fight for 4th place. Skyver went deep there. Danzo's 6th. Chalk 12's up to 7th. That's Bigsy who's gone off at Rainy Curve. He's trying to get back in. That's Dominator off at Rainy Curve. He's sideways. He's off into the gravel trap he goes. And Dominator's race is pretty much done. He was presented an opportunity to get back into the fold. And unfortunately, turn number 11 has seen the last of his challenge. So, 4 minutes to go. Closest battle at the moment on circuit, Big Madaz and Duskiver, 4th and 5th place, because Silver Fox 40 is just keeping his lines nice and neat, nice and tight. He just needs to keep doing that. Duskiver going purple in the first sector, Big Madaz following him, Danzo following him, Chalk following him. They're all close together with 3.5 minutes to go. This might not end the way that we're looking at it, ladies and gentlemen, with cars from 3rd to 7th. It could completely change. Chalk 12, certainly the quickest of all of them. But he's the one in 7th place at the minute after going off the road, evidently at the corkscrew. I'm not sure what happened. But he will be kicking himself. But he's still got time. He's still got time to get a good recovery position out of this. He could still see 5th place. But he's got 2 hard charges of Big Madaz and Danzo in front of him, who have been driving just well enough to get themselves in this position. As I say that, Danzo runs deep. Chalk, does he see the opportunity? He goes to the outside at the final corner. He brakes later than Danzo. They rub alongside one another coming out of the final corner, but Danzo just holds on to the position. Chalk will have the slipstream. Big Madaz didn't have a good run either, so Danzo will be right onto the back of the rear wing in that Mégane as they come towards turn 1. Up the inside Danzo looks, but he can't quite do it. Chalk goes round the outside of the pair of them. Can he get Danzo? He has. Can he get Big Madaz? Can he do 2 for the price of 1? He's trying to go round the outside. He's pulled it off. Chalk 12. Can he seal the move? He's just about on the inside. He's still holding the line through turn 4. As they come into turn 5, can he get 5th place? He can. He's run a little bit deep. There's Big Madaz. Here comes Danzo. He's going to try and get the pair of them napping as they go into turn number 6. He breaks a little bit later. They're 3 wide going into turn 6. But Big Madaz holds on. Danzo's 6 still. Chalk has the slipstream. Can he take at least 1 place back? He can. And he gets into 6th place at turn 7. Absolutely brilliant. I have to commend Chalk. That was a wonderful attempt at getting 2 cars. That would have been incredible had he kept that position. But that man deserves a round of applause for even attempting an overtake like that. Superb to watch indeed. Now, a little bit further back, doesn't seem much is happening. So we'll cut to this fight for 4 for the final podium position, because Duskiver has 1 lap to get past Silver Fox 40. These two came to blows earlier on in the race, but they're back together for this final lap. Like a terrible boy band reunion, but they are there together. Silver Fox just covers the inside line. He doesn't want to present any form of an opportunity for Duskiver to fire that pink Zerka Tech car down the inside. And sure enough, he hasn't. Big Madaz has got a second to Chalk and Danzo, who is still scrapping really hard, but Danzo can't get around the outside of Chalk, and he's just lost his momentum coming out of turn 4. So this is the true fight. The biggest fight on circuit for the final podium spot. Silver Fox 40 has realistically 2 corners where he's going to have to defend, and Bigsy has unfortunately left the room. So what will Silver Fox do? He clips turn 7 nicely. He's got a good run. He's not going to have to defend into the corkscrew, so he will need to be present and alert going into the final corner. But before we do that, we've got to cut through to KZ2 Haas. He has not put a foot wrong in this race. He's been absolutely superb. It's KZ2 Haas who takes his 2nd win of the season. He's still got 1 more lap to do, so we'll cut back to him. Duds is going to finish in 2nd place. What about Silver Fox 40? He's got to try and defend. Is Duskiver going to be close enough? He's got a good run as Duskiver. It's going to be towards the line. Silver Fox blocks him at the final corner. Silver Fox 40 is going to take his first ever podium in the Méganes. Brilliant for him. Duskiver just couldn't get past the end. He finishes 4th, Big Madaz is 5th, Chalk is 12 is 6th, Danzo is 7th, Shadowstalker 8th, D Hartley in 9th, Dominator didn't do as his namesake did, but he did set fastest lap at the end. That's a brilliant lap, a 23.6. Greener Army didn't quite time it right, so he's still out on circuit. So we will enjoy KZ2 Haas's victory lap in that respect. He has not put a foot wrong all race. He's been absolutely wonderful all throughout. He comes into the corkscrew, down into 3rd gear, flicks the car over the AstroTurf on both sides. We've not seen him make a single mistake, and it's going to be fascinating to watch his progress in race 2. But boy, have we got a race 2 to consider in a few moments. That is going to be a wonderful fight for the race victory. But here comes Haas around this final corner to celebrate his victory for round number 7, race 1 at Laguna Seca. It's KZ2 Haas, your race winner. Absolutely brilliant. What a wonderful race. I'm sure KZ2 Haas will have no idea what will have occurred behind him, but he is the victor of a frenetic race 1 at Laguna Seca. 2nd in the end, going the way of Duds, who put his racecraft to good effect, finished 2nd, didn't have a complicated race, but well done to Silver Fox 40 on his first ever podium in the series. He put in a good shift, and well deserved. He put in a brilliant defensive drive. He got that 3rd place. Good effort for him. So we will be back in a few minutes time for race 2 of round 7, and I will put another stream up very shortly. But in the meantime, take care. See you in a few minutes.